Hello, everyone. Grand Rising. Thanks for tuning in once again to the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is another morning wake-up call. Okay, so let's get into it. Now, listen to this. Idaho sheriff charged with pulling a gun on 7 girls and their chaperone, and he's asked to resign now by the prosecutor, the mayor, and the nearby Native American tribe. As he should be, because he's clearly nefarious. Now, he pulled these people over and he snatched the chaperone, snatched her out of the car by her hair. I don't know why they have such an affinity for our hair, but he snatched her out of the car by her hair in front of these kids. Okay, so the Idaho sheriff is being charged for pulling out a gun on 7 young girls between the ages of 12 to 16 in November. Now, he's charged with assaulting their church group leader and publicly threatening to shoot her in the head in front of the girls in an encounter on a residential street in Blackfoot, Idaho. Now, KTVB reports that on December the 14th, the state's attorney general's office charged Sheriff Craig Rowland with aggravated battery, aggravated assault, and the exhibition or use of a deadly weapon. Now, in the state of Idaho, aggravated battery and aggravated assault are felonies, and the exhibition or use of a deadly weapon is a misdemeanor. A probable cause affidavit revealed that the girls were participating in a service activity and were given out thankful turkeys, which are notes, that they leave in the community. They go to people's houses randomly and just leave like little thank you notes saying something about Thanksgiving or whatever. And the paper is usually cut out in the form or the shape of a turkey. Okay. So anyway, they were giving these notes out, and the girls would tape the notes to the door of a neighbor, ring the doorbell, and then run away before the person could see who left the thoughtful note. Now, Roland was one of the neighbors to receive a thankful turkey. Well, unfortunately for them, they went to the wrong house on that day. So he told the investigators that around 8 p.m. on November the 9th, he heard his dog barking, and he went to see if anyone was at his door. He then saw 2 individuals running away from his door. The girls had tried to deliver him a note. Now, a 10-page affidavit from the Blackfoot Police Department picks up the story from there. Police wrote that the girls were not able to deliver the secret note because Roland had come to the door. They ran back to their group leader, who was waiting in her car. They were giggling as they shared their story and joined the other girls to continue to give out their paper turkeys. Well, they went back to Roland's home and tried again to drop off the note. Roland's story to law enforcement is different. He recalls that a few minutes after he saw the people running from his home, he heard his doorbell go off and someone was fiddling with his door. Here go the lies right here. I always got to turn his twist on it, right? These devils, this is what they do. He said he heard someone fiddling with his door. That's when he got his gun and came outside in his winter undergarments, a pair of long johns and socks, clearly looking like Scrooge. But here's the thing. Now, I don't think it was a good idea for them to go back to the house. I don't even know if it's a good idea to be going to people's houses that you don't even know and leaving things on their door, whether it's for good intentions or not. I don't think that's a good idea, especially for Black children to be doing. I mean, we've heard these stories where the young Black woman was in a car accident. She went and knocked on someone's door to ask for help, and the man shot her through the door. Some racist devil shot her through the door and killed her, then said that he thought she was trying to break in his home. Then there was another incident where a 14-year-old Black boy was on his way to school in a new neighborhood. He got lost, went by someone's house, knocked on the door simply to ask for directions, and the homeowner comes to the door with a gun and fires at him. So I don't think this is a good idea. I mean, whoever thought of this needs to think of something else, because this ain't it. Now, so anyway, by this time, the girls had gathered in their group leader, Shalise Cox's car, and they were driving off. She noticed that Roland was flagging them down, so she stopped. Now, the girls thought he was just joking. She told him that the girls were trying to leave something for his wife. At this time, Cox reports, the sheriff looked into the window of the car and pulled out his gun. He pointed first at her, the chaperone, then at the 2 girls sitting in the front seat passenger side, and then back at her saying, "Get the F out of the car." Now, as Cox put the car in park so she could comply with his request, He reached into the car, grabbed her by her hair, and dragged her from the car in front of the two girls who gave their blow-by-blow account to the investigators. Now, at this point, Cox remembers him aiming the gun inches away from her forehead. He then asked who she was and told her that he would shoot her. The chaperone tried to remind him that she was his longtime next-door neighbor and that she grew up in the house to the side of his home. Oh, my Lord. So they did know this fool. They absolutely did know him. I mean, they were his neighbors, and he did all of this. Okay, I cannot. I thought maybe he was some random house that they went to, and this man didn't know them, and they didn't know him. But anyway, let me continue with the nefariousness of it all. Now, she even said that she considered him a family friend, giving him her name. Honey, he clearly was no friend. And with friends like that, you clearly don't need enemies. That's what you don't need. Now, her story did not move him, according to Cox. She told police, "That's when I really got scared because the gun was still in my head and he didn't know who I was." Oh, honey, he knew who she was. He just didn't care. Now, Roland didn't recognize her and told the police when they arrived that he had no idea who she was. He did say that he could tell that she was terrorized, and he told her to get the F out of there. Now, the affidavit also reveals that the sheriff did not deny his actions, telling them that he did pull her out of the car and pointed the gun at her head or neck. Roland admitted to drinking earlier, but told police, "I had all of my faculties with me. I was clear as a freaking bell," he said. Now, this contradicts what he later told investigators about his adjustment to the time change. He told them that the time falling back actually really messed him up. Oh, now he has a Mayo explaining to do. He has an excuse. Now, he further admitted that he was agitated because he and his wife have had some unfavorable conflicts with the surrounding indigenous community. He said, "I have been doing this job for 36 years. I've had drunk Indians drive down my cul-de-sac. I've had drunk Indians come to my door. I live just off the reservation. We have a lot of reservation people coming around us who are not good people." And he is a good person. Please miss me with it. Now, an official statement from the Shoshone-Bannock tribes explains how offensive the sheriff's statements are regarding Native Americans. It read in part, "The Shoshone-Bannock tribes are disappointed in Bingham County Sheriff Craig Rowland's comments that hit the news media on December the 15th of 2021. The incident did not directly involve tribal community members, although Rowland made racist comments about the Fort Hall Reservation." Now, it continued, "Members of the Fort Hall community disagree with Rowland's statements, including Chairman Devon Boyer, who states Rowland's use of racial slurs about Indians is extremely offensive. According to the tribe's attorney, local law enforcement has a long history of violent criminal conduct towards tribal community members, stemming back decades. Race relations between local law enforcement has been controversial and sometimes violent." The Shoshone-Bannock tribes, with over 6,000 tribal members, is not only the largest reservation in Idaho, but in the southeast region. Now, the statement reveals that the tribe does have power behind them and is calling for his resignation. They are not the only ones calling for him to resign. The Associated Press reports that on Friday, December the 17th, the Bingham County prosecutor, Paul Rogers, and Blackfoot Mayor Mark Carroll called on Rowland to step away from his duties. Why don't they just fire him? I hate when they give these racist devils, these thugs, these no good pieces of shite. I hate when they give them the opportunity to resign because then they get to keep all their benefits. Fire him. Now, footage captured on Sheriff Rowland's Ring doorbell camera gave investigators a more accurate picture of what transpired that day. In a step-by-step replay, it showed the girls taping the turkey to the door. It also shows them running away. It shows Rowland stepping out of his house, looking at the note, mouthing while he read the words, "Thank you," and then exclaiming, "That's freaking bullshit." So he knew why they were there. He stopped to read the note and everything, and even read the part where it said "thank you," but he still behaved like a Neanderthal, no less. Now, he is then heard calling to his wife to get his gun. As of the publishing of this story, Rowland has not entered his plea on the charges. Wow, so that's just all so crazy. But hold on. Hold on, because I'm going to share my screen so you all can see a picture of this thug. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Thank you in advance. So that's him right there. Now, there's also a news report about this incident, and they don't include the doorbell footage. They don't include that, but I'm going to share my screen again so you all can hear this news report about it.
Oof. Really, that's what comes to mind when the story out of Eastern Idaho, when we tell you about the story out of Eastern Idaho. The sheriff of Bingham County, now charged with 2 felonies after an investigation by the Attorney General's office says he threatened a church group with a gun. And that isn't all. Oh, there are several layers to the story, considering what investigators say the sheriff said about what he did, or what he allegedly did, I should say. Guns and racism. This thing almost has all of it. Andrew Bartline has been following this for us today. What do we learn from this investigation, Andrew?
Yeah, well, the probable cause affidavit details the sheriff confronting the youth group leader and members of the group. There were 7 of them in the car. It further says the sheriff grabbed the youth group leader by the hair, pulled her out of the car, pointed a gun at the leader and the group. Now, the affidavit says the sheriff mistook their identity. Investigators spoke with several children who were in the car. I said there were 7 of them. And they all recall a very similar series of events that includes the sheriff grabbing the youth group leader by the car and holding a gun to her head. The kids say they were dropping off Thanksgiving notes, just like this one, on their neighbors' porches, and then they would run away after ringing the doorbell, so the recipient couldn't see who left the note. Sheriff Craig Rowland was first elected sheriff back in 2013 and was the president of the Idaho Sheriff Association in 2020. When investigators spoke with Sheriff Rowland about this incident, he said, quote, "I've had drunk Indians down my cul-de-sac. I've had drunk Indians come to my door. I live just off the reservation. We have a lot of reservation people around us who are not good people." Now, the Shoshone Bandit Tribes is the largest in the entire state with over 6,000 members, Brian, and 1,200 of them are on the Fort Hall Indian Reservation in Bingham County. They released this statement this afternoon responding, saying that they asked Rowland to officially step down as the sheriff and offer a public apology to the Fort Hall community. We hope the woman and children involved in this will be able to heal from the traumatic incident. This incident should not have occurred, but proves racism still exists. We need major relationship building between our communities. The Bingham Sheriff's Department tells us Rowland is not on leave. He is in office working today, and the department says they have no one available to speak with us about the incident. They did not respond to the tribe statement either when we asked. Sheriff Rowland's lawyer did submit a statement to East Idaho News. He says the investigator and the press, us, are taking his comments out of context. And Brian, it's important to note this isn't the first time the sheriff has been in hot water.
Right. I was listening to you read what he said, and even then just kind of went, oh, no, that shouldn't. And now, like I said, this isn't the first time he's made comments that make you go, oh, he shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, back in 2016, he said that the state legislature shouldn't have gotten involved in creating a statewide rape kit system because, as he said, many rape accusations are false. Yeah, he insisted that the state police officers and other law enforcement should decide which kits get tested. However, lawmakers went ahead and unanimously approved this new system, and 2 days later, he went back and said he misspoke and recanted his statement.
So he wanted the investigators to kind of be the judge and the jury in cases of rape instead of letting that process play out.
Yeah, not a centralized system. It would be the police officers who would decide which kits get tested.
Okay, so do we know if he is on leave still, or is he back at the job?
So it's kind of a weird situation. So he originally agreed to go on leave when this was under investigation at the county level.
Okay.
When the state came in and took over the investigation, he went back to work. So he's in office working today.
Interesting. All right, well, there's still a little bit left of this play out because we're obviously not going to be judge and jury in this situation, but boy, there are a lot of layers to this.
Yep. All right. I believe there's a court system starts December 22nd.
Okay. Looking forward to it. Thanks.
Okay, so that is clearly crazy. And then the nerve of him. So he wants his police officers to be able to determine and decide which rape test kits are used. With that all being said, That's real crazy because in some cases, the actual rapists turn out to be police. I mean, let's not forget about former officer Daniel Holtzclaw. Sorry about that. Former officer Daniel Holtzclaw, who raped 13 black women, right? So how convenient would that be if the police get to decide and determine which allegations are going to be taken seriously and then which rape tests are going to be used? Clearly nefarious. And this man is right back at work. You know, I'm not even surprised, even though he's charged with 2 whole felonies, has pretty much admitted to doing exactly what he's accused of. But he's right back at work. And the notion that he has been a sheriff and been a police officer for 36 years, I can only imagine how many false charges, fraudulent, times he's pulled people over and given them bogus tickets, and just done all types of egregious things. I'm just so sure, to black people and natives, because you heard what he said about them. So anyway, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in once again. Please like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And I hope to see you all in the next chat. Peace.